We're live.
Good
Troy.
evening. Happy Thursday, Dave.
Oh, thank you. Happy Thursday to you.
Happy Swamp Day to you.
Oh my God, my favorite day of the week. Favorite day of the month.
That's right.
Yep, so we're just going to give it a second to let folks come on in.
Mm-hmm.
Adjust the lights as I always do. Christian Bale would be having a field day with me.
Oh my God. You're over professionally, dude.
So what have you been... Oh, you got a Swamp Thing shirt.
That's right.
It's nice. Looks good.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
We're still a little washed out. Troy?
Yeah. Get a
Entertain the
tan.
crowd. Very good. Very
Want to
good.
watch me slam this Propel water?
No, I don't.
All right. I don't want to do it either. I'd rather savor it.
All right.
You don't mind me saying.
Please do. So how's everybody doing today? Did everyone do their reading? Swamp Thing, Volume 5, Book 5, Saga of Alan Moore.
Mm-hmm.
Look at that.
Rick Veitch, John Toltman, Alfredo Akala.
That's all of them.
Mm-hmm. At least on the cover, anyway.
This is a shorter volume compared to the other ones that we've been reading so far for our Swamp Thing Spring Fling.
Jeez.
Yeah, we got a lot of ruckus upstairs. It's under construction.
Yeah. Yep.
So yeah, what do you think? Oh, the show ended
Yeah.
over the course of our book club time frame here.
Yep.
Anybody kept up on the show?
I actually deleted the app.
Did you?
I didn't even finish it. You got ahead of me and kind of told me how it ended.
Yeah.
And I'm like, who cares?
Yeah.
There wasn't anything much else on there that I was like missing. I wanted to keep it for the comics, but I'm like, it's kind of, I don't like it necessarily on my, I couldn't remember which one I liked it on more, the TV or my phone. But I use it on the TV.
Have it on one?
No, but the on TV it had like a different layout than I did on my phone. I can't remember which one I liked more.
I thought the app was pretty garbage overall. I still have it, but only because I don't really remember my password or how I signed into it to delete it. So I still need to do that. But overall, yeah, it was unfortunate. The Swamp Thing show was a tad disappointing. We got a lot of hints at potential greatness, but also knowing that it was canceled before it even aired, you knew you weren't going to get any of that.
Yeah.
So it was just like just slogging through build-up without knowing that there would be no payoff in sight. And I would say like the biggest payoff was after the show ended. Spoilers for the defunct Swamp Thing show.
Yeah.
The end credits happened on the last episode, and then it had this little like teaser post-credit stinger of Jason Woodrue in full Floronic Man.
Yeah.
And he looked great. It was like probably the best makeup of the entire show. It looked better than Swamp Thing.
I saw the pictures of it.
And that was it. Nothing happens with it. And I even heard that they only put it on because they felt so bad for everyone involved with that it took so much time that like they didn't want it to go to waste. So it was just like, sorry,
hours and hours of makeup to not be in the show.
Yeah.
That'd be funny.
Yep.
I know, Sam, you got to be really interested in this book because I think you were almost reading it at the same time I was and posting stuff on Twitter about it. OJ, not into it just to rag on us. Very good.
Yep.
I'm glad you're here.
Good.
Oh, and that goes to basic cable in Canada.
Oh, well, there you go.
Like that?
Is Doom Patrol or any of those on basic cable yet?
How's it up there above the border?
That's right. Seems increasingly better by the day. But Doom Patrol was very good, which gave me high hopes for Swamp Thing. It's unfortunate that it didn't like hit that high watermark.
I know. And I heard that season 2 of Doom Patrol is going to premiere on HBO Max whenever that's an app. And I'm just like...
Do you have to buy that in addition to like HBO or the DC streaming?
HBO Max should include all of that stuff. Like it's it's like a big umbrella cover everything.
All right.
Streaming service.
That's what it should be. There doesn't need to be this many subsidiaries of the same thing.
No.
So overall, yeah, anyone that's watched the Swamp Thing show, what'd you think? Did anyone watch it? Was I the only one that felt obligated to see it through to the end?
And I'm like a completionist, and I'm just like, nah, I don't care.
It had moments, you know. That's kind of what kept me like. I remember when it started, I was like, yeah, Swamp Thing tonight. I was pumped. I was singing the old cartoon theme song.
Yep.
Swamp Thing, you make my heart sing. My wife put up with it for a couple weeks, and then it just got to be kind of like a chore. Like, we gotta knock this out. Let's get Swamp Thing over with. They had like the anatomy lesson episode, which I'm glad they kind of did it, you know. But it never hit the high notes that the book did.
Too bad.
Yep. But speaking of that, let's go to what we're here to talk about.
Yeah, let's do volume 5.
Go to what makes Swamp Thing great. In particular, this volume, very notable in the Saga of the Swamp Thing run.
Yes.
And this is picking up right after that crazy battle between like good and evil, heaven and hell.
Right.
Swamp Thing was in this strange like fifth dimension purgatory type of realm.
Right. His own like crisis.
Essentially. Which took place like months after Crisis. So it was just totally his own thing.
Yeah.
And yes, he's been gone for quite a while. So much that Abby is thinking like he might not be coming back. His wife, as she's going by these days.
Right.
Abby Holland.
Yep.
No longer Cable. And she's kind of bummed out. She's thinking he might not be coming back. And take it away, Troy.
Yes, and immediately, well, like right at the end of the last book, there's that guy who sends the photos, the lewd photos of her topless smooching on Swampy's old mossy lips.
Gotta be a zipper somewhere in
there. And that follows up directly with this, with like the public now knowing of like Abby's personal exploits, I suppose.
If I can stop you there. Can you imagine company-wide crossover? They sell these photos to the Daily Bugle, and J. Jonah Jameson gets his hands on these pics. What would he be chomping at here?
I have no idea. He'd probably just want more pictures of Spider-Man.
Spider-Man. Get Spider-Man in there, that menace. That menage a trois.
But I like it kind of leaves the supernatural behind like right away with Dead Man and Phantom Stranger. It's like, oh, what a crazy adventure we had. Well, see ya. And then Swampy, you know your way back? Bye.
It's kind of the Stand By Me ending where it just says like the Spectre went off and was killed in war. The Phantom Stranger married and had 3 children. Yeah. They all just kind of end credits their way out.
For sure.
But yeah, Swamp Thing travels back through the green, comes back to Earth and finds his wife gone.
Yes.
Disappeared.
Not at her apartment at all, and on the hunt to track her down. And it's not anything through the green that helps him find her. It's more or less the love between each other draws them together like a magnet.
That's right.
That's right. And he ends up meeting her at a courtroom in Gotham, no less. But not after Abby leaves town because she's getting threatening bricks thrown through her window.
A brick is enough, but with a threatening note saying you need to go to Russia.
You are sick.
Yes, I love the notes that she gets from these outraged people. By her man-beast love affair.
There's some great ones in here I want to read. Dear Nordic Frost Princess, I have seen your picture in the news. Are you into S&M? Ooh, no signature. There's
anonymous
one from Elysium Lawn saying that her job is no longer needed. There's this one. Dear slut, what is the matter with you? Cannot get a real man, so you have intercourse with anything. It is too bad your husband is in a coma. He would whoop your ass. You're an ugly pig. And it's all with like grammatical errors and everything. I love it.
Alan Moore predating the internet chat room.
It's exactly like a Twitter post.
Yes.
I love it.
That is amazing.
So as she's hightailing it to Gotham. You were saying right before this that you really like the description of Gotham that Alan Moore sets forth.
I do. Yes, if I may.
You may.
I have it saved on my phone here because you have the copy of my book.
Mm-hmm.
But let me just read some great Alan Moore descriptions here. No, there we go. Orient. Gotham has a reputation. It isn't like those other places. The buildings, huge blocks of light, look stranded somewhere between 1930 and 2001. Art Deco, shoulder to shoulder, with faceless steel and glass. When I was a kid, I thought heaven looked like this. But then you read about Gotham's criminals, all deformed or insane, and you realize that's just the surface. Under all that style and civilization, there's a zoo full of Dick Tracy's nightmares yammering to get out. Oh God, what am I doing here? That's a pretty great representation of Gotham.
For sure.
From someone that's not in a Batman book.
Yeah. Sam in the chat saying this volume he felt like it gave Abby way more 3 dimensions as a character. I would agree. This is a really Abby heavy book.
It totally is. Like the first 2 issues and like almost the last 2 are very much Abby centric.
Yeah, John Carl's Dear Slut cracks me up, especially when it's not Dear Slut, it's Dear Slut.
Yes, like the animal deer, like a deer slut.
Yeah. Yeah, okay, going on.
Yep. So Abby leaves what is it? Huma
Yeah.
behind, goes to Gotham.
Right.
It basically gets off the bus, asks the first person she sees for directions, which happens to be a gang of prostitutes, and they're instantly busted and hauled off to jail.
Put back into jail.
Yes.
I love it. They're meeting the best picture of Harvey Bullock I've ever seen.
Committed to page.
Him just gagging, deep-throating a hoagie.
Throwing this sub sandwich. Taking it all in.
Oh, what a slob.
Every tooth on that bread.
I love...
We should say one of many pictures of Bullock just taking in a sandwich.
It's so good.
Oh my lord.
He is a complete shithole in this book.
Doesn't she describe him as just something very very close to what the depiction looks like too?
Yeah, but I don't...
Not quite as...
I don't think it's here, is it?
I guess so. His name's Bullock. Nah, well,
if
anyone wants to chime in with their own Bullock fan fiction.
Just a sow of a human being.
It's erotic fiction. A while back, we were curious if Bullock was canon before the cartoon series, and I guess this answers that question.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he did. He predated the animated series, but I didn't really know him before that. I wonder, when he first kind of came onto the scene.
Right.
Doesn't matter, but I remember us wondering that a while back.
Sam, what does Moore have against Bullock? Every image, she's a full gross trash person. It's true. And I don't know if it's so much Alan Moore as it's like Rick Veitch who's drawing it like, fuck this hoagie. I hate this asshole.
It seems like him and Nukeface are just have a great powwow between the two.
Yeah.
Just consuming garbage.
Oh my god.
Anyway, Alec Swampy comes back, sees a newspaper headline.
Yeah.
Monster sex queen jumps bail. And he is outraged.
Oh yeah, it's one of those things where if it's in a movie, he just yells like, and like into birds fly out of the trees.
Keep panning back all the way over the earth.
Well, so much that like a dog howls and a kid is up in bed. Like,
yes.
So it's like a real life, like, holy shit.
And I like that. That's another great description of just like horrible things going on and how the world is kind of affected by it.
Yeah.
Kind of like in Doom Patrol and
sure.
Also about like when Arcane came back and everything just went to shit. No one knew why, but like something is off. And that was it. So yeah, the first issue, Swampy's back and He was coming in hot, having a great time from beating the devil or whatever. And then he finds out his swamp bride, is imprisoned in Gotham, and he is pissed.
He is pissed. He's making a full no stops, pulling them all out, beelining right to Gotham. Ben Rafferty, first time here to watch live. Hey, what's up tonight? Glad you don't got to work. It's great.
Yes.
Not working is so good.
Oh my.
It's the best thing in the world not to work.
It is. Second only to sitting.
Oh yeah, for sure. If you can sit and not work, you got it made, bro.
I prefer to lay out, but then I get sleepy.
Yeah.
But I can't argue.
And then you might choke on that sandwich that you're trying to deep throat. So then it picks up right after that where he's just a green blur, pretty much.
Yeah.
Like, zipping through the green like it's his freaking job to get over to Gotham as soon as possible.
Oh, yeah. Yep. There was a Fat Man on Batman episode where Kevin Smith basically reads this verbatim.
Was it this one or was it the next one?
I think it's a mix of both.
Okay.
I don't think he does every page of either of them, but I remember specific things that he read. For instance, I remember his Bullock impression. He ended every line with, over there. So I started using that as I've been reading my children bedtime stories because it just amuses me to no end. Hey, we got a Swamp Thing over there.
Over there.
Over there. But yeah, Smith does a very good recounting of this book as it's one of his favorite Batman moments.
Yes.
That actually happens in a Swamp Thing book.
Right.
But you just get this great description of Gotham, how Swamp Thing is traveling through the green to get there, and how he encounters all these different people along the way.
Yeah.
Like he meets up with the Floronic Man again in Arkham, which is kind of cool.
Yep.
And they seem to not really have any ill will towards each other at this point.
Not really.
Swamp Thing is almost like, you know what? Let bygones be bygones.
Yeah. And more or less because he's like
fucking nuts.
Woodrow is like going nuts. He's like, "Are you here to punish me?" Like Swamp Thing's like, "No, I'm fucking out of here. I am not here for you." And then he's like, "No, don't hit me with the voices."
Right on.
Yeah, all the while, like, Gordon and a bunch of bureaucrats are, like, going on and on about how disgusting Abby is for, like, having this interspecies relationship.
Yeah, there's a lot of judging in this.
Yes, for sure.
Basically showing all these squares that just can't accept that Swamp Thing and Abby have this beautiful relationship, which is very much non-sexual.
It is.
She's not, like, having sex with him, though.
No, but they're having
They trip out on sex yams.
Oh, yeah, they're sex yamming for, like, days on end.
Yeah, it's more of a mental connection than a physical connection.
I suppose.
He's absorbing dead animals. I can't imagine she's physically having sex with him.
Well...
whatever.
Who knows?
Different strokes. As long as no one gets hurt. Although I would imagine she would get a splinter or two.
Oh, for sure.
Regardless.
See Danger looking good. T-Max. Ooh, 2 X's.
See Danger upstairs right now. A lot of kids running around up there.
Yeah.
Hopefully someone's watching them.
She just made a trip to the bathroom to, like, get some peace and quiet.
Full disclosure, we both took the day off today. Filmed like 4 episodes of Imperious Rex starting at like 9 o'clock, which was when we cracked open the first couple beers. Had a quick game of golf or hit some balls at the driving range. And here we are. Rounding out the night.
Trying to pack electrolytes into my system so I don't feel like total ass tomorrow.
Yeah. Well, you gotta drive. I just have to go upstairs and fall asleep.
Anyway, on her way to the courtroom, Abby gets handed a rose. And I know this is a reread, but I totally forgot this whole moment where the rose is a total, like, doorway for Swamp Thing just to be like, I'm fucking here.
Yeah.
It's shown greatly as he busts through the floor in an explosion of roses.
Yep. Very thorny roses.
Oh, for sure.
I think Sam mentioned on Twitter how never before have roses come off as so dangerous. Like, Swamp Thing is literally covered in roses, and he looks about the most menacing he's ever appeared.
Oh, for sure.
Every rose has a thorn.
You bet it does.
Who gives her the rose?
Just some hobo. I don't know. It's like somebody just in black and white. I don't know.
Oh yeah, just some person.
This guy, this boy, right there.
I was wondering, is that Matches Malone?
I don't know.
Could be. On the page.
Let's say it is.
Yeah. Matches Malone, one of Batman's alter egos.
Mm-hmm.
Another just awful looking picture of Bullock.
Yeah, but
always got something in front of his mouth. Looks like he's about to take in that gun.
His tongue is actually the one holding the gun. But this is another great scene here where he busts up to the floor and pretty much has everyone captive in like a vine.
Yeah.
Whatever, and everyone's like, shoot it or whatever. And he's got this great caption right here saying, always guns. Are they your only solution? You can shoot the animals in the forest, but you cannot shoot the forest. And he's just there to F up their A's.
Fuck it up, Swampy.
And then leading on, like
and then he disappears in his normal.
Well,
deflates.
I'll be back. For only like the bureaucrats of Gotham to call in a ringer, and it's Lex Luthor himself in a very funny picture.
Very meticulously rendered.
Yes,
facial
very
expression,
bushy eyebrows.
Yeah, I always liked the Frank Quietly Morrison Lex Luthor where he didn't have
it's
eyebrows.
Like full on alopecia,
and he draws them in.
Yeah. We like that too.
I also like how much he charges them for his consultation. It's like $1 million for 10 minutes.
10 minutes. He's got a lot of weight.
Yep.
A lot of pull.
But in the meantime, basically Swamp Thing gives them an ultimatum.
Yeah.
Says, release my wife by whatever
like
o'clock.
24 hours or whatever.
Or I'm going to take Gotham back to the Stone Age. And then he greens Gotham up. He just, plant life erupts, takes over everything.
Yep.
And civilization just goes nuts. Like, they literally go back to, like, primal rage.
Yeah, they really do. It's like it's either like mass looting is going on, or it's like full on garden orgies. Like everyone
right up Alan Moore's alley.
A good garden tea party orgy.
It seems to me if this was written today, this could be like a 6-month event. For like
sure.
The greening of Gotham.
Yeah.
And every book would tie into this as just like Gotham goes nuts and it's all like this ticking clock around Swamp Thing. And they give it quite a few issues here.
Yeah.
But I could have seen more. I wouldn't mind like some tie-ins to this because it is such a big event. Like Gotham is just like shook from this.
Right.
To the point where everything shuts down and like no one can get in or out.
Yeah.
It's like a full-on rainforest. I kind of like that idea. I wish they would have maybe done a little more with it.
Yeah, it would have been interesting during this time to see if Batman had like a kind of a crossover with it. Like if
should have.
Yeah, I doubt that he did, but it'd be interesting. From there on, like Batman is now on the case. His whole Gotham's gone green, and he's like, I don't know about this. And so now comes like one of our favorite panels as we've been reading.
Oh my god,
Batman
I love this.
Very unstealthily trying to maneuver his way through the window of Gordon's office.
Sneaks into the office behind them, upside down. That one's good, but what really sells it is the next page. There, where he's literally just like
upside
trying
down,
to climb
wedging himself
awkwardly
into the window. That one right there. He's trying to do his best Spider-Man and fucking it up horribly.
Yeah, at any moment he could lose his grip and just fall like 30 stories. And I can't imagine he can quietly get into the room like that.
No.
Nor can he get on his feet without like kind of somersaulting and like holding on to something. We imagine like he pops up and he's got the blinds halfway draped down him.
You didn't even hear me come in.
The whole time Bullock and Commissioner Gordon are just like trying to kind of ignore him and humor him until he acknowledges his presence. As he's like, cape stuck. Didn't even see me.
Oh my god.
Oh,
so
great.
That's
all I want to talk about.
Yeah, that's a great 2 pages.
Batman's stealthy entrance.
The sexy Yams come back into this where it's like a cop's like, oh man, I love sweet potatoes, and immediately bites into it. Like, who the fuck eats a raw sweet potato first? Secondly, it's not quite a sweet potato. It's obviously a sexy Yam, and then he starts tripping balls. Even to the point where his partner's like, Brickmeyer, you jerk, this is serious. And he turns around and he's just like, oh.
Doesn't he like make an advance towards him once he's tripping out? I thought there was some kind of like weird pass that the guy made.
Stan, you look real pretty tonight.
I knew there was something that like really caught me off guard there.
Oh my god.
So good. At least he had a good trip. He didn't have like one of those crazy drug addict trips.
Right. And then it cuts to more Bullock just stuffing his fucking face with a hamburger or whatever like that. Just food trailing out of his mouth.
God, why does the Swamp Thing just inhabit that lettuce and choke him out? My God, do us all a favor.
Oh my God, that'd be so good.
Put Bullock 6 feet under.
As this goes on, it's more we get Who's this?
We get a couple people sneaking into Gotham because
Mhm.
now there's people all over the country that are like making a pilgrimage,
Right.
that are respecting Swamp Thing's
Yeah.
demands.
Yeah.
One of which is the
Chester.
hairy hippie Chester,
Yeah.
and the other one is the guy from the Nuke Face papers.
Yes.
The husband of the wife that snuggled up beside him and then had like the miscarriage and died.
Mhm.
And he's just kind of going there just because he has nothing else to do.
Right.
And he kind of just wants, I guess, a purpose, or he wants some sort of answer.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And they kind of befriend each other. Not a whole lot happens with that relationship, but I do like that there is this kind of callback
Right.
to that character.
Dinosaur Neil and Chet, you guys talk about that automatic divorce yet? We're not there yet. Don't worry about it. Did you see this? Any about this, Dave? I liked it so much I made it my Twitter picture. We'll get to it.
All right.
It's real good.
All right.
And then this is really great. So like Swampy is now like just walking like the forests of Gotham.
Yeah.
Seeing the streets lined with trees and like everything's blossoming and everything's good.
Yeah.
And then Batman comes in on his like his Batmobile lawnmower.
It's essentially the machine in Fern Gully. The deforesters are using with like a million chainsaws.
Yeah.
Just chopping and releasing hexes all over the place.
Yeah.
And he pops out with a flamethrower and just roasts him.
You guys noticed that the cult forming around Swampy felt a bit like Divinity? Yeah, a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I felt like Divinity pulled a lot from some great books, particularly a lot of Alan Moore stuff,
Mm-hmm.
because the character Divinity's a lot like Dr. Manhattan, too.
It's Gotham, bro. Sweet potatoes are their sex ham. I guess.
Yeah.
Still doesn't make any sense why they're eating them raw. They're raw dogging all these sweet potatoes.
Microwave at least. Can we get back to Batman with a flamethrower?
Oh, of
An
course
image
we
we
can.
rarely see.
Yes.
Second only to Batman riding a shark.
I think Sam also on Twitter, you had like this panel here where Swampy goes up next to like the Batmobile Lawn Clipper 5000, and it's like kind of reminiscent to the mutant leader stepping up to the Batmobile in Dark Knight Returns.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty cool stuff. You see so much cool stuff that I never see. Maybe I'm just buzzing through this too quickly.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Batman
Batman
roasts him. He lights him up.
Batman just gives it to him. Swampy just immediately splurches
Oh,
to like come up right behind him.
yeah. This is a great moment. This is a cinematic moment here.
Oh yeah, I even love the way it's drawn.
Mm-hmm.
Where like a bunch of Swampies come up behind
out of
Batman.
the fire, out of the smoke.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
like all of them have these like glowing red eyes, and Batman is just like,
Uh-oh. Yeah.
this is no good.
Not very often is Batman caught off guard like that.
I even love the way he's drawn. He's just drawn straight face, like I've made a big mistake.
Yeah,
I
it totally
immediately
is.
regret this decision.
The narrator, he did. Some okie dude. Did they do anatomy lesson in the Swampy show? They did. They kind of half-assed it. They crowded it with a Blue Devil storyline, but they did. They tried it at least, so
Okay.
we'll give them credit for that. But yeah, and
Swampy
then Batman just gets a pounding.
Yeah,
They just basically
he really
pummel him.
fucking takes it to him. And then he just makes a beeline back to, I'm assuming it's Gordon's office, I guess.
Yeah.
And then just pops up like a giant Swampy head comes up through their floor.
Yeah, he literally becomes, like, he forms out of the wood in the floor and the desk.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. Like, treated wood. he comes out of, and then just leaves the swamp head, the swamp thing head there.
It's a power move. It's like
yeah.
your move, and then just disappears. And
You're like,
oh, he's gone.
Oh, he's gone. Yeah. You can talk. I just want his eyes to, like, light back up and be like, oh. And then everyone...
But yeah, and then we go back to like his followers now. It is kind of like Divinity, where he's like,
oh, people love him.
Bringing this Eden to him, and he's like, everyone loves him except for these people who run Gotham. It's like, he is a menace. Technically, he is. He tore down their entire infrastructure in minutes.
He
But
wiped Gotham's ass.
Everyone seemed to love it, though. So it's like,
well, Gotham sucks already. So how could this be any worse?
I've asked that question like 100 times. Like, why would anybody ever want to live in Gotham?
Why does anyone live in Detroit or New York? Like,
Well, I guess.
just is. You're grown up there. It's where you gotta go.
I guess.
You gotta go to be a serial killer clown or a Riddler of some sort.
So Batman goes and nurses his wounds back in the Batcave and goes to back out into the wilderness of Gotham at this point. And trying to find, I guess, Swamp Thing there because he's gathered a crowd where Swamp Thing just like makes this like almost perfume around the city of all the flowers and stuff that just attracts like 1 billion insects, and they're like, fuck!
This guy has got it figured out. He has got us head to right. It does. It shows like how formidable he is, and he is really holding back through this. At any moment, he could just have a swarm of insects pick him to bones.
Right.
But he just keeps like these little things, like, I could kill you this way, I could fuck you up this way.
Or they could
like 1,000 mosquito bites up your asshole.
Or he can literally just turn into a giant redwood Swamp Thing and just stomp shit throughout the entire town.
Which he does.
Which he does right here. It's amazing.
Swampzilla.
And I guess I never even realized how fucking big he is in this image. Like,
yeah.
His trucks aren't even as big as his pinky toe.
Yeah, like...
That's insane.
Yeah, his toenails are smaller, or his toenails are bigger than like a van.
Yeah. And I didn't even realize that till just now. He is just
enormous.
Mammoth.
Yes. Yeah. And again, like once he gives them the ultimatum, then he like vacates that body and it just like collapses.
Yeah.
Like how many people did that kill?
Jumps out of there with 2 middle fingers. Like, fuck you.
I'm out.
But then we get this image here of Batman like warning Swamp Thing. It's like, if you ever do that again, this is my city. If you come back here like that, I'll kill you. Which I want to double back to later.
Okay, yeah. Tough. I'm scared. You got it, Bats.
But this is also the point where I almost forgot that they actually talked about a plan to dismantle Swampy with Lex Luthor.
Yeah.
And it's I think they've already explained it in here too, to uproot his like a sensory system.
He has like a field, almost like a electric field or something that he can sense, or his connection to the green.
Yeah,
I guess. Yeah, and they're gonna shoot him with something that's gonna disrupt that, so he can't leave his body.
Right. It doesn't go well for either party, really, because at this point they're like at City Hall steps. I actually like this up here too. The reporter is like, many people gathered here today because they see the swamp creature, which I think is an urban myth. That's one thing like appears right in front of him,
and he just is so nonchalant, just like. So yeah, they decide to give in to his demands.
Yep.
Release Abby, which also before we get here, Batman convinces all the higher ups that their relationship is no more outlandish than
I really
like
like
Superman and Lois Lane,
right?
Like an alien and a woman,
right?
Or Dick Grayson and Starfire,
right?
And all these characters where it's like, yeah, I mean, you don't like it because she's human and he's not. But
right.
How many of our superheroes are
alien?
Yeah, and like, when he mentions Superman, the mayor is just shook.
Yeah,
he's like, "Oh no!"
I really like that. I totally forgot about that. But yeah, it's like, why don't we just talk to our friend in Metropolis? And the mayor like literally drops a cigarette out of his mouth because he's shook to all shit.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, it's so good. But anyway.
But yeah, that basically changes their mind. Batman pulls it out in a non-violent way.
Yep.
They release Abby. They have a moment where they rekindle their love at the base of City Hall.
Yep.
And then right as they're embracing each other in a hug, he senses something is wrong and he is gunned down by like, Luthor's boys.
Right. Gets sniped with something. Like a little, I don't know,
Disruptor.
And then Abby's like, jump. He's like, oh, and then they fucking napalm him.
Yeah.
Like, in here it shows bombs dropping. And I'm like, what? The crowd is right there. Yes. What are you doing?
But
Batman covers Abby up with his cape, so It's fine. It's fine. But I really do like the last image of this book where Batman in shadows, like, holding Abby while he just got charred remains of Swampy.
Yep, all the characters, like the secondary characters, just kind of looking in horror, realizing like, oh shit, what do we do?
Yeah, and the burning or the assassination of Swampy goes on for 3 pages.
Yeah, I also like it shows the Parliament of Trees. He's kind of remembering them, warning him. I think Sam mentioned it here too about like his vulgar display of power, which he just showed Gotham, which they very much said, don't do what you're doing.
Yes.
And once again, we get a glimpse of Man-Thing there. They just keep drawing him in as part of the Parliament, which I really like.
Me too, yeah.
And we get a very quick call out to his original transformation into Swamp Thing from the bomb.
Yeah.
I feel like they could have maybe tied that in a little more. Like, he's dying a second time in flames, very reminiscent to how he became Swamp Thing.
Yeah, they kind of make reference to it right here. It's a little...
I guess it's lighter
it's not
than
on
I thought
the nose.
they would.
Yeah. But yeah, I think he says in here, I'm burning just like how I did the first time or something like that.
Yeah.
Like a bomb. I reached out to defuse it. I was too late. I burned to death. But that's pretty much it. Just showing the bomb under the table, though, was like enough to like trigger back that memory.
Mm-hmm.
It even says here, my name is Alec Holland, and then it shows all that stuff.
Okay.
I think it's really well done.
Yeah. And then we go a very different turn here.
I kind of want you to explain these here, because you've been going back and reading old Swampy.
Yep. So we'll take a pause here. As we've been reading this, I actually went back to Swamp Thing #1 from Bernie Wrightson and Len Wein, and have been reading that up until the Alan Moore series.
Yeah.
Which there's not a ton. There's like 24 issues of Swamp Thing. Bernie Wrightson and Wein do the first 13, and then it switches to a different writer-artist team. The first 13 are fantastic. I would recommend anyone pick them up. They're great reads, good horror. And then after that, it kind of goes downhill, and then it relaunches as Saga of the Swamp Thing and runs for 18 issues, I think, before Alan Moore picks up.
Okay.
And in those 18 issues, we get some new characters. Liz Tremaine, who's a reporter who's written a book about Swamp Thing, and Dennis Barclay, who's a doctor who is kind of tasked with helping cure Swamp Thing, because Swamp Thing is suffering from a degenerative disease at that point. And they are kind of like his main characters throughout the Saga of the Swamp Thing run. Abigail and Matt Cable are like absent from it so far, even though they're very main at the beginning of his arc. So I have 2 issues left to go before I get to the Alan Moore part where he takes over. So a lot must happen in those 2 issues that he wraps it up. But prior to that, Liz and Dennis are kind of his go-to guys. They're like his wingmen through this whole thing. So it was very interesting that Alan Moore decides to completely side table them, go back to Abby and Matt Cable, and then at the very end of his run, come back to Liz and Dennis and paint them in a completely different light than they were at the beginning of this saga.
Sam was saying in the foreword that Liz's character arc in this issue is based on a story about Moore's aunt. I didn't read the foreword in this. I
didn't either, and I've been reading all the other ones, so
this one was like super long. It was like 4 pages of like size 0 font. I'm like, oh my god, I don't got time for this.
Yeah, I'll have to go back and read it because I'm interested in that, especially if it dips into that. But yeah, I can see how Moore might want to tell maybe like this personal story and pick a character that, he, for the most part,
they got rid of him in his first issue in. They're like, who are these 2? They died in a hotel explosion or whatever.
Yeah.
That's where I first knew him from.
Yeah, I remember when we did the first live stream, we were like, so who are they again? Like, it doesn't matter. It
doesn't matter. They're gone. They'll show up a little bit later. Some Okie dude asking, is Swampy an eldritch abomination?
Sure.
I don't know what that means. I figured you would.
Eldritch is an H.P. Lovecraft term, I believe. He's a bit of that. So should we get into this then?
Yeah, let's do it.
So we get a new take on Liz Tremaine and a very new take on Dennis Barclay.
I like this issue because I like that it does deal with like a loss and with Abby and all that stuff, and like no dialogue, just her cleaning the apartment and throwing like a dead plant away just caused her to break down and just cry.
Yeah.
Really like that.
It's a filler issue, but it's a very good like self-contained one-off that it's not Swamp Thing related, but it shows how a supporting character, I mean, she's essentially a main character in this, how she is able to kind of regain her strength and empowerment even without Swamp Thing.
Yeah.
Like, she was kind of leaning on him through her whole life because he was her crutch, and he's gone now, and she has to accept that she has to fend for herself.
Yeah.
And the whole thing is kind of her coming to terms with that and becoming, like, empowered.
Yeah.
Because she reconnects with an old friend who is in way worse shape than she is.
Shit, yeah. And even like before she goes to clean up the apartment, we have like still the fallout from Gotham where you have Commissioner Gordon saying there's going to be like a service held for Swamp Thing.
Oh, yeah.
And Batman's like, I want to read this word for word. Your bereavement doesn't destroy you. In time, it can even make you stronger, but all that starts with one thing, acceptance. He's gone. Mere pages before this, he said he was gonna fucking kill Swamp Thing.
Yeah.
Like, so fuck Batman in this.
I know.
Right?
We're laughing like it's amazing that Gotham City had the balls to make a statue of Swamp Thing in his memorial.
It shows up later in this.
After like for the last, month or so, they've had a siege where he's literally crumbled their entire city.
Right.
And then they're like, yeah, but we had some good times. Let's pour millions into this monument to him. After we just napalmed him.
Yeah, for sure. But the only one I really feel like bad for is like Chester's like, well, if you ever need anything, here's my number.
Yeah.
Just look me up. I'll be in Louisiana or whatever.
Chester's a good guy. I wonder if he ever comes back in any future Swamp Thing stories. It seems like a good supporting character to like occasionally circle back to.
Chester the hippie.
Yep.
Never bites into those sex yams either.
No. Too afraid.
Too afraid. Might get too horny. But yeah, then we get Liz Tremaine meeting up with Abby because Liz almost begrudgingly like sneaks out of her house.
So yeah,
because like Dennis has almost like
brainwashed her,
pummeled her into servitude almost, or just to be scared of everything, even to plug in a TV wearing like rubber gloves and oven mitts, and still she's like, I don't know. To take a bath, she stands in an inch of water.
Yep.
Like,
which was shocking to me reading this at the same time as the early issues, because she is a very like self-assured, like go-getter woman.
Oh man.
So when I read this, I'm like, this seems way out of character. And then Abby even says, like, what happened to you?
Yeah.
You were like an author. Like, you were a journalist. What went on? Mm-hmm. And it shows just how toxic her relationship was with Dennis.
Yeah. Who,
this guy is just such a creep, which is also weird because he was like a doctor, a good-natured doctor early on. I guess Moore just decided, fuck him.
Fuck this
like,
guy.
I need a villain.
Yeah.
Because he really didn't have shades of that character. But he also was like a nothing of a character, so go ahead, do whatever you want with him.
Yeah. Even to the point that, like, it really nailed it home, just a small little detail when Abby's like, well, just come wash up in the bathroom or whatever. And she sees, like, these, like, towels laying outside. It's like, oh, do you want me to throw these towels away? And she's like, oh, those are my underwear.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, fuck.
What?
Like, that's bad. It's like, yeah, he doesn't want me to go outside because he doesn't want us, like, to draw any unnecessary attention, so I've been making my own underwear out of towels. And it's like, God damn.
He's been telling her that the Sunderland Corporation has been trying to keep an eye on him, even though Alec killed Sunderland in, like, the first issue. And Dennis knows this. He's just kind of been keeping her as, like, a slave.
Almost.
This whole time.
I don't know.
For what purpose?
I don't know.
He's in the original like Saga the Swamp Thing early issues. He had kind of a crush on her, and she wasn't really reciprocating it. Mm-hmm. So I guess that's what this is.
Yeah,
just him becoming like this just crazy alpha male who is like just keeping her down and under his thumb, to the point where she ends up crossing paths with Abby.
Yeah,
she sees Abby in the news after the Swamp Thing's demise.
Yeah.
And goes to meet her. She's just like, on a whim, I'm getting out of here. I'm going to try it. So she goes, kind of hooks up with her, and then Dennis tracks him down and basically is like, oh, you don't run out on me. I'm your guy. You have to do what I say.
Yeah.
They go off on a run, and he tracks him into a swamp. And Abby is kind of like having flashes of like, man, if I wish Alec were here, he could help us. and she kind of comes to terms with the fact that he's gone, but she's learned enough to be self-sufficient, and she's like, he would do this.
Yeah.
I'm going to do this. And she gets them to a point where they lead Dennis into, some water, and he's attacked by a gaggle of crocodiles.
Yeah.
Maybe the same ones that ate the pogs or whatever they were called from that one issue. Still chewing on those cute little possum creatures from
squeaking
space.
as they chew on them.
Yeah. And he just gets ripped to shreds.
Oh, like this one that's just the chomping right on its head.
Oh, yeah. Surprised they didn't have one biting him right in the dick.
Yep. Chester becomes a main character. I think he hooks up with Liz. Oh, good for Chester.
Awesome. And then Liz comes back. Very cool. Good. Good to know. I'm planning on continuing Swamp Thing after Alan Moore's thing wraps up. Just kind of, on again, off again. So I'm interested to see where it goes. I know Mark Millar writes it for a while. Brian K. Vaughan writes it. So there's a lot of good authors attached. I'm going to see it through to the end. Yeah. Because it's not that long compared to other notable characters.
Right.
I think it's doable. Yep.
And then the following issue after this is kind of like Abby decides she builds up enough courage to go to Gotham to see the ceremony held for Swamp Thing. They unveil the statue, and it's kind of like her looking kind of daydreaming almost as Gordon's doing this whole soliloquy about how great he is, and Phantom Stranger and Constantine show back up, and they're like, oh yeah, I just came to pay my respects, mate.
Man, we had some great times, didn't we, me and Swamp? Remember when he turned into my desk?
But this is where Abby, at the ceremony, starts daydreaming about having a happy life with Swampy. He's not really dead, and they kind of go through this weird, almost Hollywood style fake Huma or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And they're
Matt Cable covered in flies comes up to kind of give her away.
Yeah, that's the one I thought it was so funny because everyone's like, hey, Alec, hey, Abby, glad you're together again. I'm so happy for you. Abby, I wanted to apologize for being so hostile to you. The one that, called her a stupid bitch, in Elysium Lawns or whatever.
Yeah. And at this point, he's still in a coma, right? He's never died.
Right, he's still comatose. Yeah.
Another weird note, his powers, I have 2 issues of the previous run until it gets to Alan Moore's takeover. Mm-hmm. He... Not only are the powers not in it, Cable is not in it.
Oh.
So all that must happen immediately before he takes over.
Oh, man.
It's so bizarre. I expected 20 issues about him using these bizarre fantasy manifestation powers, and they're not it at all.
Right. Anyway, during this whole fantasy of her actually getting married to Swampy, this is the part that it made me laugh so much. It just friggin' Matt Cable coming up in this pink caddy, comes and cheesily smiles, fly swatter in hand, surrounded by flies.
Fly swatter.
Matt, but you're don't say it. I came out of my coma. I filed for automatic divorce. You're free to marry Alec whenever you like, with my blessings.
Oh.
That made me laugh so hard. That is now my Twitter picture.
Automatic divorce.
Hashtag automatic divorce.
Amazing.
Very good, boys. It's the best thing in this.
Imagine the window rolls down and just a fury of flies buzz out. And he's swatting them in the air. What's he hitting them against? Just taking them right out of the air.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, it's great. And then it goes all to shit again because she snaps right back into it.
Mm-hmm.
Back at the ceremony. Boston Brand comes up in this weird creeper.
Yeah.
It's
they haul off to jail afterwards.
Yeah.
God help anyone that Boston Brand jumps into. You just wreck the rest of their life.
Right. And then the ceremony kind of finishes off. She kind of has her own silent, something to say into a rose to put on the grave, and then it zooms back out into outer space.
Yep.
To go see the full green planet again.
John Carlos says he loves a subtle return of the scuzzy little monkey.
He
makes an appearance there.
Yeah, he does on that
Elysium
bitch's
Lawns,
shoulder.
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, right there, scuzzy little monkey.
In
right
the prop houses.
Yep.
Oh, it's so good. Yeah, I even like the prop Gotham City in the next page with the bat symbol drawn on the building.
Oh, yeah, that's really good.
Yeah, man, they're on point.
This is it's a great issue for being so bizarre. And Bullock taking it to the creeper. He's like, "Oh, but I didn't do anything."
Well,
say it to the judge, buddy. Shoving him.
While Bullock's filleting this cigar, everything in his mouth has to be like this big.
Yeah, but I didn't do anything. And he's like, "Public disorder, molestation. Oh God, listen, please. I must have had a blackout. I take these allergy tablets." And then you don't see him anymore again.
Nope. He's getting raped in prison right now. Alan Moore's got a 6-issue miniseries about that.
But then it zips off and you see like the green planet, and then it like zips off way farther.
Yeah.
Into where I don't even know where this is.
Other galaxies, I guess.
In the last panel, you see some plaque slot quit pleach and just like this blue swampy on the last page
with these alien-looking vegetation growing out of him.
Yeah, and
he's back, baby.
He's back, baby. He made the jump to hyperspace.
Yep.
And he's now the last issue, My Blue Heaven, which is a pretty fun one.
Yeah, this is a great one, a great standalone one. Which we were just talking. I forgot this was in this collection.
Yeah, I actually thought that this was in the next one because there's a lot of.
Yeah, the next one is very like galaxy spanning, so I feel like it would have been better suited for that.
Yeah,
but it does give you, I guess,
a taste.
Yeah, a taste of what's to come, and it's Swamp Thing, reforming himself on a planet way the hell out, away from our solar system, and he's there all by himself. And he's kind of going crazy and just testing his limits of basically what he can do there. I love where he climbs to a very tall mountain, inflates himself, and just like flies and floats around the planet until he takes it all in.
Bursts into this weird wizard or like Dr. Seuss like spore.
He floats around until he's like, I've seen enough, and then I like popped. And his head is just blowing off like a dandelion, basically. And then he just reforms again. And he decides he's going to form another person. So he forms another Swamp Thing. And there's this great moment and visual of how he controls them both. So he has like double vision.
Yeah.
And they're kind of overlapping until he gets the hang of it.
Yeah, that was really cool.
And he plays chess with this doppelganger for a while, but it's just himself. So like they play like 100 games and they're all draws.
Yeah. Until he gets sick of that. What I really like in this too is once he realizes he's trying to like make a duplicate of himself, he's like, could I do it? Should I do it?
Yeah.
And he eventually does make like an Abby.
Yeah.
But it's
that's
weird.
The one where he's really like hesitant on, but he's like, fuck it, I'm gonna do it.
I need to see her.
It's like Matt Damon in Interstellar, where like he holds out as long as he can, then he's like, I'm here, I need help. So he makes her perfectly, except her smile is off.
Right.
And that's the one thing that just kind of keeps getting to him.
It keeps nagging at him.
Yeah.
Oh, there's an automatic divorce hashtag going on in the oh no, by Chelsea. Oh no.
Oh boy.
Uh-oh. Oh, never mind. I'm stuck with her for life. Oh, unless I buy more books like Lost Girls. Very good.
All right.
Well,
I don't think there's a whole lot out there like Lost Girls, so you might be in luck. So him and Allie try to make a go of it. Not Allie, him and Abby.
Yeah.
Or the Abby / Swamp Thing puppet that he's created. And he recreates an entire town.
Right.
He makes everything from from himself and Linda back in human form.
Yep.
He makes Constantine, but he even says like he doesn't feel like he's making Constantine talk.
Right.
Like Constantine's almost talking as himself, which is just kind of this interesting little wrinkle to maybe Constantine's reach.
Maybe. I kind of think it's like he's splitting himself so thin. It's almost like little aspect of his personality here and there, stuff that he doesn't really want to say out loud, but somebody else in the back of his brain is telling him that same thing.
Yep.
And that's the Constantine, because he always delivers some shit news.
I know. He says, strange, I do not recall creating him. Not in such specific detail, not consciously. So, yeah, Constantine's almost like the Jiminy Cricket on his shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe the little devil on his shoulder, where he just like tells him what he has to hear, but he doesn't really like what he has to say.
Mm-hmm.
But he just can't get over how wrong Abby's smile looks.
Yeah.
To the point where it's just, he can't take it anymore. All of a sudden, the planet gets some rain, and it starts just melting everything he's created.
Right.
And this entire like ecosystem that he's crafted just starts to like melt and sink. And he's like, I can't do it anymore. Abby stops smiling, and he just beats her to nothing.
Yeah. I actually really liked the town that he made in this, and I kind of forgot. I remember that he did it, but I forgot that he like tore it all down, because I halfway through I'm like, would anybody else want to revisit this? Like a Green Lantern book just comes by sometime, and there's like an American southern town just on this planet.
That would
somewhere.
be amazing.
Yeah, but it's all fucking destroyed.
In Alex Ross's Justice book, doesn't Green Lantern go into some weird dimension where he's alone and he creates an entire like green city, very much like this?
Very much so like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's good. Like he says, in despair, I let it die. I let the buildings unravel and the children fall dead in the streets. I stop the hearts of the perspiring old men. I kill the world. Blue murder. And he just lets everything he created die. And it's just so grotesque. All the things that he loved and created from memory. Alec and Linda start to like merge together in like this cancerous tumor. Abby, he knocks her head off, but it's still smiling. And he's holding it up, talking to it. And you just feel so bad for him here. But it essentially ends with him just like, all right, this didn't work. What else can I do? What else can I try? Like, and he leaves her head there and goes off into the distance. And then we just get this great next mystery in space.
This last issue has like really good Alan Moore writing once again. Not that the rest of it is bad by any means, but like really inventive, just ways of saying the color blue. Like and really inventive ways of
blue
like
heaven, blue Valentine, blue
even, like,
everything.
Shimmering azure beetle shells or whatever, and just shit like that. I'm just like, man, does he have a thesaurus handy, whether he just has all that knowledge up there? But I thought, because all of it is just inner dialogue with Swampy.
Yeah. Like the entire thing, pretty much.
Yeah. I really enjoyed it, because you really feel like the lonesomeness of the character. And even at the end, he's like, I don't even know where I am. I can make a jump, because like, if I don't make
it worse than this.
So like, either I'm going to die here or I'm going to die out there. So I'm just going to try it.
Yep.
And then that's the end of the book.
Yeah.
Good shit.
Yep. A good volume.
Yeah, a good volume. A concise, like one note story, where it's not like a freak of the week issue to issue to issue.
Yeah, we were talking how this one felt a lot shorter. I thought this would be a short live stream, but it's going right on track with most of them. But it is like one story. Whereas almost all the other ones have been just what you said. They're like one-offs.
Yep.
And they're fun because it's like, oh, I really like this one. This one was good. This was interesting. Didn't care for this one.
Yep.
This is just like, it's Gotham and Swamp Thing trying to get Abby back, basically.
Yeah.
And then her grieving with his death.
Yeah.
So it's a lot more straightforward. It's probably the most long form a Swamp Thing story has been.
Yep. John Carl's going to the chat right now. Wonder if this is the influence for Emerald Twilight when Green Lantern recreates a city. Oh yeah, it also happens in that too. He does it in Justice and Emerald Twilight. Doesn't he do it in like 0 Hour? Or is that around?
Someone just said it was in Kingdom Come. I don't remember in Kingdom Come.
Isn't that whole? I haven't read Kingdom Come in forever. Doesn't he? Yeah, doesn't he create like a whole like colony up in space? He must do this all the time. Must not be an original thought.
I guess not. I think this predated all of them. So it wouldn't surprise me that like everyone was like, "That's a great idea."
Yeah.
I'm going to do it with this character. In Green Lantern, it makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if he needs to do it like 3 times. See if he can learn his lesson after the first. But yeah, it would be very cool to have just like a call out. Fuck, Grant Morrison. Oh, no, Grant Morrison probably wouldn't do it because him and Alan Moore don't always. But in his new Green Lantern book, that would be a cool one-off issue if he like goes off on his intergalactic lawman adventure and comes to this blue planet and sees just these ruins of what Alec made here.
Yeah. Let's. Oh, and Sam brings up it's a lot like Dr. Manhattan on Mars.
Yeah.
This last
Exile.
issue. Yeah. It's too bad he didn't have a blue swinging dick, though. It's too bad.
I know.
It was the perfect time to do it.
Yeah.
It didn't happen.
Do you think if Alan Moore could just go full Moore, would Swamp Thing just have like a big vegetable pecker hanging out? I think he totally would.
A big old cube just swinging between his legs?
Yeah.
Maybe.
I bet he would.
Why not? I mean, if he wants to reform himself, he's trying to be a man. I don't see why he would stop at...
Why would he be a Ken doll?
Yeah. Anything else? Any other questions before we head off for the night?
Yep. So we got one more.
Yeah,
one more volume. Which it's
vegetable pecker.
I was gonna say that's got to have something in the chat. I would say this coming one, volume 6, is the most divisive of all of these Alan Moore Swamp Thing books.
Yeah,
it's not my favorite from what I recall, but it's been a while since I read it. Maybe knowing what's coming, I can appreciate it more. But it's all over the place.
Yeah, I don't remember the last volume at all. The last time I read this, when we did it for the show, the first time when we did like everything in one episode, I was like just barreling through them, and I think I just sped through the last volume.
Yeah,
but I don't remember much of it at all. I think at this time though,
Mysteries in Space.
Yeah, I think Moore is kind of like in his head almost done with Swamp Thing at that point.
Yeah.
Because I thought I read he was like on to already other projects, and like this maybe have been getting delayed, but I can't remember if that's true or not.
Yeah, they're definitely more experimental. He's not like telling a grand story anymore. He's just like, maybe do this and maybe do that. And eventually I just need to get him back here.
Right.
So yeah, I'm interested in doing it again. Because I think there's probably a lot to talk about in it.
For sure.
Whether or not you like it, I think there's a lot to discuss.
Right on.
Which sometimes those are the best.
OJ, what are some good pickle recipes? Oh, Jay, I'll send you those on Twitter.
No, come on. Give the people what they want.
We got, at the house now, we got some sweet heat ones. So I got some jalapenos growing out in the garden. So I got a sweet pickle recipe. Throw some jalapenos on there so you get a little sweet heat treat. My God.
My Lord.
I haven't tried them yet, so hopefully they're good.
Yeah.
But yeah.
You don't need any more heat today.
No,
I didn't know if you'd
I thought I was going to puke earlier because I had a hot pizza.
Yeah. It's just had a hot pizza. No big.
Where are those Hellboy reviews?
They're coming.
Yeah, we got more down the pipeline.
Yeah, we recorded some back like in March that I haven't edited yet, but they're coming up.
Yep.
And then we're going to knock it out very soon here.
Yep.
But we got some good stuff planned for Hellboy.
Yep.
John Carlos, he said, where is it here? The new Green Lantern book. Have you read any of this
I
yet?
haven't read it. I'm not like a huge Green Lantern fan.
I'm not either. I only got it for Morrison,
yeah.
And it's almost too weird for me.
Yeah.
Like, I read it issue to issue for maybe the first 4, and I didn't love it, but I just bought the hardcover, and I'm thinking, like, maybe it'll read better collected.
Yeah.
So I'll probably be giving it a binge pretty soon here.
Yeah. I might go back and double back on it because I heard it was great, and I heard they were doing something like way different with it. So I'm like, maybe I'll check it out then.
Yeah, I think the big draw was they're very like one and done type of stories. And I love I saw some joke online where Morrison says like it's just gonna be a very straightforward like space cop story. Just a day in the life of a cop in space. And then it showed the cover for issue 4 and he's arresting God.
It's like just a straightforward story.
Yeah. Yeah. The Beard Gasmatron. Are you going to pick up the Nancy Collins Swamp Thing omnibus? I think that's coming out soon, and that is the author that picks up after Moore.
Okay.
So I don't know anything about it other than I read the solicitation, and I think Swamp Thing becomes the mayor of a Louisiana town.
Oh,
and
boy.
I'm like, well, that doesn't sound good, but maybe
it is. Anything can be good.
Yeah, maybe it's just like so weird that it works. But I'm interested in it. I'm gonna see Swamp Thing through to the end, like I said, because I've read the Scott Snyder stuff and I enjoyed it, and I'm interested in Charles Soule, who takes over after him when they did like the New 52 relaunch.
Sam, I saw you talking about earlier before how much you enjoy Swamp Thing without Constantine. I thought he stuck around a lot in this, from what I remember the first time. Like, he's all over one of the volumes, and then he keeps doubling back and comes back, and I'm like, God, I've kind of had enough of you a little bit.
Yeah, I kind of forgot how much he was in this. But, you know, to be fair, Alan Moore created him, so he is Moore's guy to do whatever he wants with.
Yeah.
I had forgotten he was in it as much as he was, so. And I do like the Constantine Hellblazer books, from what I remember. So I'm like, I could do more Constantine, but I don't know if I need it in Swamp Thing.
Yeah.
Like, have him pop up here and there, but not like every issue.
Wins Imperious Sex.
Coming up very soon.
Very soon. We're
coming soon.
Coming.
We recorded
Near
3 of
you.
them this morning.
Yes.
And we have 1 left to go.
Yep.
It's going to be, what, 5?
Yeah, 5. 5 episodes of Imperious Sex coming up. It should be good.
Yeah,
I would say good about the reviews after
they were very
done.
good. The reviews were better than the books we read, to be honest.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's coming up in a couple weeks probably. I might drop 1 or 2 more episodes of other things before that, but they're coming up.
We got Pudlord again, House Powers, and House of X. Good. So far, I haven't had one clunker in there yet. I haven't read the last House of yet.
It's good.
Okay, great. Perfect.
More of the same, but good.
Yeah. So
I was telling you, I'm getting a little tired of all the full text pages.
Yeah.
Could use some more Hickman graphs, but
for sure.
But it's good.
All right. Did you guys watch the Swamp Thing TV series from Ben? We kind of talked about that earlier. I just kind of heard it fizzled out, so I didn't even finish it. And then I totally flushed the app down the toilet. Okay, dude, you do Swampy if DC would ever hire you? All right. Sweet.
Yeah.
You mean do him, like, fuck him? I'm just kidding.
I'd try a sex Yam. I got nothing to hide.
Maybe Hero Gasm going to be a sequel to Imperious Sex.
Ooh, Joker trailer. Joker trailer.
I liked it.
Yeah,
I liked it.
Yeah.
We talk about it in a video coming up pretty soon.
Yeah, we did a little impromptu Q&A and then just kind of shared some thoughts on some current events, and we go into more detail on it. But I'm still surprisingly into this upcoming Joker movie.
Yeah, I'm more curious than anything about it. So let happen. But I like the trailer. Yeah.
Oh my God! The wives just said there's Domino's upstairs. We're gonna have to cut this short.
Shit. More hot pizza. All right,
but yeah, we should. I mean, not just because there's pizza, but this is about the time we normally wrap it up
for sure.
But also because there's pizza. But yeah, that's it for this 5th volume. We got 1 more to go.
That's right.
1 more Imperious book club.
That's right. And then
thanks everybody for joining us on this. This has been fun. It's been a test because we don't know who's going to actually jump in on this, or who's going to read along, or who's going to watch it. Like, obviously, these don't get quite the number of views as, you know, just a normal episode because they're a little bit more timely.
Yeah.
And also, like, harder to sit through because it's more off the cuff and we're rambling. Yeah. But they're fun. Like, I'm really enjoying rereading it and being able to really, like, dive into it and go, like, almost page by page.
Yeah, and because talk with you guys doing it, too.
Yeah, this is a great series. And I feel like this is almost the only way you can give it justice. You can't, like, sum up a 6-volume Alan Moore series in 20 minutes. So yeah, I'm glad everyone's joining us on this journey. And if you haven't read Swamp Thing before, I'm glad that you can do it for the first time here.
Yeah, for sure.
It's a great book. One of my favorites.
It is. It's one of the greats, Dave. Yep. All right, boyos. Order your own pizzas at home and eat them with us. Not on this, but just pretend we're there. Look at the moon and pretend we're also looking at the moon eating pizza or whatever. Whatever romantic feelings you have toward us, that'll be great.
Very true.
Yeah.
So yeah, that'll do it.
Yep.
All
That'll
right.
do it.
Read up. We might do the next one a little bit earlier in September because I know the end of the month is kind of weird with our schedules and it's a short month.
Yep.
So maybe like early 20s for
Sure.
the last volume.
Yeah.
So yeah, grab volume 6, read it up, take your notes. The exam will be in September.
So study up. All right. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks.
Have a good night.